let us talk about the US abortion law. You might have heard that, there was last week there was a judgment whereby Supreme Court said that the right to have or abortion is made once again illegal. Abortion is not a fundamental right of American women. Not a right. There was a nationwide right to abortion. There was a nationwide right to abortion since 1973, which was known as that landmark case called Roe versus Wade. Okay. So, in the 1973 judgment, Supreme Court said that any law making abortion illegal is a violation of the rights of women. Okay, there can be no law which makes abortion illegal. There can be no law which makes abortions illegal. That was, and in fact, they said that abortion should be allowed up to the point of fetal viability. Abortion should be allowed up to the point of fetal viability. What do you mean by fetal viability? No. How much the fetus has grown is not the issue. हाँ? Heartbeat. वो तो शुरू से ही heartbeat है यार, नहीं है तो वैसे life कैसे है? Fetal viability means a stage where the fetus can survive outside the womb. Okay, fetal viability means even if the fetus is removed, the fetus should be able to survive outside the womb. If that stage has come, then we call as fetal viability. So, there can be abortion till the point of fetal viability. That means till almost like final birth, maybe 6-7 months also. I mean, normally a premature birth at 7 months and 6 months we are able to make the child survive. So, that means till that point there can be abortion. That is what the 1973 judgment said. But recently in the state of Mississippi, there is a law which banned abortions after 15 weeks. Abortions banned after 15 weeks. Now, this was challenged in the Supreme Court. This was the Mississippi law which was recently passed, and this was challenged in the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court upheld this Mississippi law, saying which is, they said that it is correct, you can ban any abortion after 15 weeks. So, once Supreme Court upheld this, automatically this Roe versus Wade judgment got nullified. Okay. So, in this Supreme Court nullified this Roe versus Wade judgment. So, what is this Roe versus Wade? ये कौन है? हाँ? Roe कौन है? Wade कौन है? हाँ? क्या था? Any idea? Who was this Roe? हाँ? कोई आदमी होगा? यही बोल रहा ना? There is no such person called Roe. Okay. There was a female called Norma McCorvey. McCorvey. Norma McCorvey. She used a pseudo name called Jane Raw. Okay, she used a pseudo name called Jane Raw, and she filed a case in 1969 in Texas against the anti-abortion laws in that state. Anti-abortion laws in Texas. पैरेलली तुम्हारा वीडियो भी देखते जा रहे तुम लोग, मेरे क्लास भी साइड में चल रहा है, मजा ही मजा। एसी में बैठ के क्लास भी चल रहा है, वीडियो भी चल रहा है, वो कौन सा देखूं ज्यादा, इसमें कंफ्यूजन हो गया, इसलिए वीडियो चिल्ला रहे मुझे ज्यादा देखो। So anyway, so this is what, so she filed, in fact the case was that she was pregnant for the third time, and this Norma accused, or rather her problem was that she said she was raped, and in that rape she is conceived and she wants to go for abortion, and she filed a case in Texas saying that because of this anti-abortion law she is not able to go for abortion. But the court rejected her argument and she was forced to give birth to the child. Okay, she could not go for any abortion and all. So this case was challenged, or rather it was opposed by the attorney of in Texas, the Dallas County. Its case was in Dallas County, and the attorney there who defended the anti-abortion law, his name was Henry Wade. So Henry Wade defended the anti-abortion laws of Texas, and Jane Raw wanted to abolish the anti-abortion laws in Texas. Okay, so she lost the case there, but she filed an appeal in the Supreme Court, and in 1973, finally, after she gave birth to the third child also, 73, in a 7-2 verdict, 9 judges are there in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court declared that these anti-abortion laws are a violation of the women's right to privacy. Women's right to privacy, and it's a violation of the rights of the people. Okay, rights of women. Basically, it's a violation of rights of the women, and specifically the right to privacy. So no anti-abortion laws can be there. So that is what the Supreme Court gave the verdict. So this was the high point of the. So this is the verdict which upheld the individual rights, fundamental rights. There is nothing called fundamental rights. The Bill of Rights. Okay, in the Bill of Rights, they upheld the right to privacy and the rights of women. So basically, the idea is whether a pregnancy should be advanced or not, it should be the sole discretion of the mother and nobody else. Okay, so that is the judgment it was given, and in this judgment, the Supreme Court talked about a trimester system. 3 trimesters of 3 months each, first 3 months, then the second 3 months, and the third 3 months of pregnancy. And in that, Supreme Court of US declared that in the first trimester, that may up to 3 months, that means first 12 weeks or first 3 months, it is the absolute right of the woman. Okay, it is the absolute right to decide whether this pregnancy should be there or not. She can go for abortion if required in the first 3 months. In the second trimester, that means after 3 months, after 12 weeks to 24 weeks. there can be some government regulation. Okay, in the second trimester, there can be some government regulation on abortions. And the third trimester, states can restrict or ban abortions. States can restrict or ban. But even after this also, a woman can obtain abortion if doctors certify that it is necessary to save her life or health, if doctors certify. To save her life. Okay, if doctors certify to save her life. So please remember, it is totally different from Indian law. I will be coming to that. Okay, in India we don't have any absolute right for anybody to go for abortion. Even today, there is no absolute right for us. Okay, medical. So for some medical reason there can be abortion in India, not otherwise. But we will find a medical reason for everyone. Then we are champions of that. Okay, when it comes to these kind of ethical moral values, there is no, even doctors will certify and say that koi dikkat nahi karo. Okay, so it says first 3 months absolute right for women, second 3 months some government regulation can be there, third 3 months states can restrict or ban, but even then a woman can obtain abortion if the doctor certify that it can be, the pregnancy can be dangerous to the life of the person, so there can be abortion at that stage also. But now what has happened? Now the Supreme Court has rejected this argument in the Mississippi case. Where there is a ban on abortion after 15 weeks. Supreme Court upheld that law. So the constitutional right for abortion is no more available in US. There is no constitutional right for abortion. So now once there is no national ban on this, or there is no constitutional right for abortion, and there is no national ban on anti-abortion laws, now at least half of the Republican states, okay, the states which are ruled by Republicans. Republicans are traditionally more conservative. These states are expected to, at least around 25 states, they are expected to come with anti-abortion laws. Anti-abortion laws. In 13 of them, they have already, see, once the national, the judgment lapsed, automatically 13 states, there is some sort of a trigger laws. Trigger laws means the moment that ban gone, automatically the previous law will bounce back to life. Okay, there were laws earlier. See, in these 13 states, there were anti-abortion laws before 1973. These laws became invalid because of the 73 judgment. Now that 73 judgment has gone. So what will happen? Automatically those old laws will spring back to life. Okay, this is a good example of doctrine of eclipse. I will be talking about in polity. Okay, this Roe versus Wade judgment eclipsed the previous law. The law was good, law was working, but then this law was stopped, or rather it was asked to stop functioning because of the judgment. Now the judgment has gone because of the fundamental rights. To protect the fundamental rights, a judgment was given and asked these laws not to be implemented. So they were not implementing the law. Now the Supreme Court again says there is no fundamental right there, the right has gone. So these laws will bounce back to life. The laws will bounce back. So we can say these laws were eclipsed by the Roe versus Wade judgment. Now that eclipse have gone and these laws will bounce back automatically. That is what is known as the trigger law. In that, it will automatically trigger, it will come back. So this is what can be a good example of doctrine of eclipse, which is in US, of course not in India. Now, but there were many restrictions already going on. This debate in US is going on for many years. I mean, it is an endless debate, and even in India, should we go for, or should the abortion should be legally permitted? So that is always a debate. See, now what is happening is, so this is versus some moral dilemma, or there is a debate on my moral values and your moral values. It depends on person to person, okay, and there cannot be any answer for this question. There is no right answer or wrong answer. It all depends upon what kind of philosophy or what kind of moral and ethical values in which you are growing up, okay. So the moral dilemma is, if you look at the science of the whole thing, when a sperm fertilizes with the egg, what is produced? What do you call that? A zygote is produced. Okay, that is the first cell. Okay, sperm in human beings case 23 chromosomes, egg also has 23 chromosomes, and recombination of DNA will take place, and 46 chromosomes here, and the beginning of the life began. This is the beginning. The moment fertilization take place, the life began. Now this single cell will undergo cell multiplication. One cell will become 2 cells, then it will become 4, then into multiplication will continue, and it will become, and initially what do you call? Initially up to 32 cells. Normally all cells look alike. Okay, there is no differentiation, no organs. Okay, what do you call these cells, the initial cells? Up to 32 cell stage, what do you call? Stem cells or pluripotent cells. I am talking from an outsider point of view. I am not talking from biology and botany perspective, as a outsider knowing very little about all these things. Okay, so कुछ botanists ऐसे कैसे बोल रहे हैं, ये तो नाम ठीक नहीं है, ठीक है, मन में ना पूरा पीड़ा हो रहा है, कोई बात नहीं, control your पीड़ा. Okay, so we are, I am an outsider from biology, so I am speaking in that perspective. Okay, so a pluripotent cells which can convert into any organ. Okay, various organs are there, and initially up to 32 cell stage, we call it as embryo. Then once the organ formation begins, then we can call it as the fetus, and it will continue to grow. Okay, that is the point which will be happening. Now, when did the life begin? In this case, which is the beginning of life? What is the beginning of life? Whether this as the life beginning, or when it started forming the organs after the fetus start formation. What is the beginning of life? Bolo na? Is it at this stage or at this stage? Fertilization, is it the beginning of life, or it has multiplied and reached a stage where organs start forming? Should we treat that as the beginning of life, or should we start as fertilization as the beginning of life? क्या बोलेगा? बॉटनिस्ट क्या बोले, बायोलॉजिस्ट और जूलॉजिस्ट क्या बोलेगा? हाँ, कुछ बोलेगा? बोलो, हाँ ना, कुछ भी बोलो, मैं दोनों नहीं एक्सेप्ट करूंगा तुम्हारा आर्ग्यूमेंट, चिंता मत करो। फिर भी यू आर फ्री टू टेल, क्या बोलना चाहिए? zygote, or when we started, when with the stage of fetus stage, maybe after 8 weeks or 12 weeks, the fetus stage. See, that is the dilemma. If you go for by a religious beliefs and texts, okay, see, in fact, the biggest opponents of all abortions are the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, Roman Catholic Church and the Pope and all, they say that the life began when the fertilization took place. You should treat from there onwards life. That is why Roman Catholic Church is against even stem cell research. If you are even taking out the cells and doing something with the experimenting with that, even that is playing with the life. That is the argument. Whereas many others, even the scientists, if you ask a scientist, he may say that let us consider only when the organ formation began. Till then, it should be treated as a pluripotent cell only, no life, no organ. It should not be treated as a living organism at that stage. We should be allowed to do some research and improvement and all those things. So, this dilemma, this is a moral and ethical dilemma of the scientific community. There is a and there is no what you call final answer to this. It depends upon in what background you are growing up and all. Okay, so this is the problem even in US. Now, once there is a issue of the life or rather the rights of an unborn child. Okay, the rights of an unborn child versus the rights of an already living human being. That is the mother who is bearing that child. For whom we should give more priority. Okay. Again, we cannot, there can be different versions of that. Okay. What we say may not be acceptable. So, this is the issue which is happening in US. So, what we can say, the US society is completely divided on this front, and now it is all a political drama also. See, now what is happening is, whether it is 1973 judgment or whether it is 2022 judgment, it is nothing constitutional about it. There is no constitution as such. You can say it's a right of the women, this and that, but ultimately these are all political decisions. Now, at that time it was a 7-2 verdict in favor of abortion. Now it is a 6-3 verdict against abortion. 9 judges, both the cases. Now, if you look at the background of this, then you realize that unfortunately for the American society, now 6 judges are considered to be conservatives, and 3 judges in US right now, they are liberals, and all 6 are appointed by Republican Party presidents. Okay. Now, in US there is a problem. What is the problem? Problem is, if a judge, a Supreme Court judge is appointed, this judge is appointed for life, no retirement age. You have to die in office. Marega hi nahi. And life expectancy has gone up like anything. And recently a 58-year-old judge was appointed. I mean, the last judgment was only 58 years. And she, in every likelihood, if everything goes well, in the normal life expectancy is 90, 92, 95. आप सोचो, now this person may be there as judge for the next 30, 35 years. Maybe even more. We don't know. So, normally, no American president will get a chance to appoint more than one judge and all. कोई मरे तब ना हम appoint करें. So, it is a very rare phenomena in getting a chance to appoint, especially if you have only 4-year term and all. If in 2 4-year terms, 8 years, you may get a better chance. But normally, it is very difficult to get. Now, last time what happened was that, see, before Trump, see, 2008 election, that means, 2009, January 20th, Obama became the president. He is supposed to complete till what? 2017, January 19th. Obama's term ended on 19th of January 2017. During his tenure, towards the end of his tenure, maybe I think 2016, second half, one vacancy came because of the death of one judge. Obama, since he is a nice man, because of constitutional propriety and ethical moral values, he said, I am about to complete my term. I will not appoint, let the new president appoint. Okay. It is constitutionally correct, also morally correct, ethically correct that you are in the last few months of your post. So now this chance should be given to a new president. Obama both constitutionally correct, both ekdam सोच समझ के declare कर दिया. And 16 election, 17 January 20th, our great Trump. This man became the president. Now the moment he became, मौका मिल गया, अरे मजा आ गया बोल के, he immediately appointed a conservative. So suddenly, it was till that point, it was 5-4, sorry, 4 conservatives and 5 liberals. So there was a liberal majority in that. So suddenly, when he appointed, it became, 3 conservatives and 6 liberals were there at that time. So when he appointed, suddenly it became 4 conservatives and 5 liberals. Within 1 year of his term, another judge died. So he got a second chance to appoint. It became 5-4. All dying are all the liberals. Now all Buddha okay, both पहले का appointment है सब. So वो भी खुश हो गया. But in 2019, the last nail in the coffin, a third judge died. When he was about the same situation of Obama, where 3 months left, at that time, one more judge died. At this time, Trump said, I will appoint. ये तो वैसे ही आदमी है. No moral, no value, no ethics. Okay. And I told you, he is the champion of the post-truth era. Post-truth means you tell a lie 50, 100 times, that will become the truth. He is the propounder of that. He is the, master of that philosophy. And he appointed a third judge in his term. So in 4 years, he appointed 3 judges. It is unprecedented in the history of US in the last 100 years. And it became 6-3, 6 conservatives and 3 liberals now. And all of them are youngsters in 50s appointed by him now. It is not going to change that composition in the near future. Unprecedented. That is why, the lasting legacy of Trump is this, which we never thought. Okay, this is a black swan event of US, I will tell you. Okay, ऐसे करके गया. I mean, this is in our lifetime, we may not be able to see it turning. This 6-3, to reverse it is not that easy. It is a big change in the American philosophy and the psyche. Okay. So anyway, so this is something which has created, I mean, Trump 4 years of rule, it's okay. We can adjust such aberrations. But this 6 judges he created, or the 6-3 majority he created for the conservatives. Now, the next will be the same-sex marriage, which is legal in US right now, in the name of, again, liberal philosophy. Now, what will happen to that, God only knows. And that can be the next step, which can be counterproductive again. Anyway, so this is because of this change in the politics. So that is why I said this judgment, please don't see it as a constitutional judgment and all. It is a political judgment. It is purely because of the politics which is being played there. Okay. So, in fact, in US, around 20% of the pregnancies are aborted. 20% abortion is there. And according to some estimate, in 2020, there were around 9,30,000 abortions. So these things are very clearly documented in US because it is legal and people will not do anything illegal there. But in India, you cannot get any record of this. हमारे पास कोई रिकॉर्ड नहीं होगा, क्यों? हमारे पास सब illegally चलेगा. Okay, either 2/3 of abortions are unsafe abortions in India. 2/3. Okay, so but in US, everything is well recorded. That is why we are able to tell all these things. And there is something called medication abortion and surgical abortion. What is medication abortion? It is by pills. Okay, consuming some drugs, some pills. Most of the abortion in US, especially the first 3 months, it is medication abortion. In fact, more than half of the abortions in US are medication abortion. So, there is also another thing called a telemedicine abortion. That is, those states where abortion is not legal, they can have a consultancy over phone to doctors who are sitting in some other state where abortion is legal. Okay, that is telemedicine. And then they can send a prescription to that concern, because in US you will not get any medicine without prescription. In India, कोई prescription नहीं चाहिए. हम ही एक डॉक्टर है, मतलब we are all living, walking, talking doctors. Okay, एक पैकेट अभी जो हॉस्टल में आया तो क्या लेके आया होगा? इतना बड़ा बक्सा होगा सबके पास, कम से कम 50 different medicine. Okay, and not only you consume without any prescription, you will give to others also free. ये लीजिए. Okay, free में. हाँ? So we are all doctors, so we have a different mindset about it. So telemedicine and all, we may be wondering, इसकी क्या जरूरत है? जाके chemist से मांगो तुरंत मिले. No, in US you will not get, but here everything is freely available. That's the difference. So we cannot even understand what is going on in US because of this. Okay, anyway, so that is also an issue. There are some states even telemedicine prescriptions are banned. I mean, in this abortion issue. But anyway, that illegal things may continue. Some people are now, if it is available, not available in US, then they are getting prescription from outside the country. Okay, doctors sitting outside, they can take prescription. Like in India, now Thailand is a main destination for sex selective abortion. Okay, Thailand has become the main destination for sex selective abortion from India. Why? That is because in India, in every clinic, it is very clearly written, यहाँ बच्चा लड़का या लड़की पूछने क्या क्या लिखा है तुमको पता है ज़्यादा. You can see every hospital it is written. So we cannot ask officially. So now is a new trend in India is, whenever you have a doubt whether pregnancy is there and you want to ensure that only a boy is born, so you go to Thailand, have a medical checkup there. The doctor will immediately tell whether it is a boy or a girl. If it is a girl, go for abortion there, take rest for 10-15 days and come back. It's not very costly at all. I mean, even flight charges are less. So people, that is why this medical tourism, it's not medical tourism, abortion tourism is very common, especially from North India. Okay, half of the Thai tourists now from North, main activity is this. Okay, so we are also championing these kind of things anyway, but that is a different thing there. Now, what will happen? The final analysis. Now, the American society is divided into two on this ethical moral dilemma. Okay, so there will be two types of states now. Say around 25 states where abortion will be banned, or rather it will be very limited, facility for limited abortion. Whereas at least in 20 states which are Democrat ruled, where there will be free, there may not be any restriction on this, no restriction on abortion. So what will happen? The people from other states will be traveling to these states for abortion. So this will be like, what you can say, abortion sanctuaries will be created in US. Okay, abortion sanctuaries will be created. So some states will be abortion sanctuaries. Now it's like, in the border area, like, Bihar, liquor is banned. So UP border pe, UP Bihar border pe, many, shops will be on the border itself, lined up. है ना, Jharkhand and Bihar border पे क्या हो रहा है, and people go nowadays, people of Bihar go for tour to Jharkhand. 2 दिन का टूर पे जा रहे, किस लिए? 2 दिन दारू पी के वापस आएंगे, क्योंकि यहाँ पे नहीं पी रहे. Okay, so this will be same thing along the border in US, between the states, whichever states which are banned and where there is no ban. So along the border region only abortion clinics. There are many abortion clinics already. So abortion clinics will come up. Then another thing is, now there is a for the parliament election there, the house of the representatives, the parliament election in US, please don't forget, it's the parliament's term, house of representatives term is for how many years? Like in India, MP, Lok Sabha, 5 years. House of Representatives is equivalent to the Lok Sabha in US. What is the term for them? It is 2 years only. President has 4 years. Senate has 6 years. But House of Representatives have only 2 years. So every alternate November. So 2020 elections were there. Now 2022 November election. That means already we are in July. So in November elections will be there. Democrats were not expecting a good performance because Joe Biden is not performing that great. So they were expecting a thrashing. Now they got an opportunity to tell to the people that we are liberal, your rights will be protected. So this may change the election results in November. The chances are very high, or rather it may go in favor of, at least Democrats can campaign for that right now. It may go in favor of them. They can claim that if they come to power, they will reintroduce the law for legalizing abortion. But the problem is, any law, any nationwide law to be created, it will be requiring 2/3 majority in both the houses. So that requires extraordinary, that may not be happening, that extraordinary majority will not come. So it may not be easy, to create a nationwide law protecting abortion rights. It may not be easy, but the Democrats will try. So at least they got a chance right now. But final bottom line, as I told you, is the American society is deeply divided. There is no final correct answer. Okay, no final and correct answer in this particular case, and it is American president has said that this judgment has made put Americans 50 years behind. So all those the so-called liberals, for them it is a black day, but those who supported or rather this abortion laws or to prevent abortion, they say thousands of lives will be protected. When the facilities are less, people may think that they may continue with the pregnancy. So their argument is thousands of lives will be protected, and the rights of the unborn babies, protecting abortion rights. Okay, they want to create a law for protecting abortion, a nationwide abortion right, but it is not going to be that easy because they may not get that kind of majority in any case. So the sad part of US right now is there is a huge divide in every sphere of life right now. The society is divided, and that started by around after Obama came to power, that whites versus the rest, that then conservatives, then liberals. But in most cases, it is going in the opposite direction these days. As I told you, one madman ruling for 4 years, its impact will be there for the next 30 years. Okay, one indiscretion or rather one this kind of attitude, and he got a chance also. आप देखो ये ऊपर वाला भी support किया ना उनको, तीन judges मर गया, and that is why he could appoint 3 conservatives in his 4-year term. Now they are sitting and going to judge such a way that many of those see, Americans are known for their liberty, the Statue of Liberty, liberal thinking. Liberal thinking's main philosophy is individual is more important than everything else. Okay, the liberal thinking's core value is about individual rights, and in women rights, no other country has so much of rights of women being protected. Unfortunately, that is what is questioned one by one. So it is going to be very tough, and society is deeply divided. It may take many decades for the US to once again unite the people. That is the lasting contribution of Trump. He could divide the society properly. Okay, and he may go up shortly, but society will continue to be divided. His legacy will continue, which is something very sad. Okay, so the moral ethical value is the issue. When we talk about the moral values, what is that? That guiding principles which will decide what is right and wrong for an individual. Okay, what is right and wrong for an individual is depending upon what we have learned, what we have studied right from the school. Okay, so in the write-up, I will be giving some about this, what is moral and ethical, that dilemma also I will be giving a couple of paragraphs. So please read that. Anyway, that will be useful for our paper 4 later on. The ethics teacher also will be talking a lot about that. Now coming to Indian law, let us talk about the Indian law as far as these abortions are concerned. See, according to the IPC, Indian Penal Code, 1860 Act, voluntary termination of pregnancy is a criminal offense. Okay, voluntary termination of pregnancy is a criminal offense. But that means we cannot voluntarily terminate the pregnancy. It's a criminal offense. But there is a Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971. Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971. It allows legal abortions under specific conditions. Now, there is no voluntary, but there can be legal abortions under specific conditions. Legal abortions under specific conditions. Now, according to this 1971 Act, an abortion is legal if it is terminated within 20 weeks. Within 20 weeks, that means around 5 months, and with the approval of doctors. And is performed by a medical practitioner. By a medical practitioner in an institution. Okay, the approval of doctor, performed by a medical practitioner in an institution. Now, according to, and there is criteria also, up to 12 weeks, opinion of one doctor should give opinion. Then 12 to 20 weeks, opinion of 2 doctors. Then recently in 2020, Medical Termination of Pregnancy 20 Act, it has further expanded this. Medical Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Bill 2020. It extended that the time period to 24 weeks. From 20 has been extended to 24 weeks. There can be termination or abortion till 24 weeks for certain categories of women, especially if there is a fetal abnormality. For fetal abnormality, and also for vulnerable women, because if the health is in danger and all. But if there has to be abortion after 24 weeks, okay, that means 6 months later also, after that also there can be abortion in India, but it can be done only after constituting a medical board. It can be done only after constituting a medical board consisting of a gynecologist, then a pediatrician, then a radiologist, and other members notified by the government. Minimum requirement is a gynecologist, a pediatrician, a radiologist, and other members notified. It has to be through a medical board. Then it also says the name and the details of the women will be kept, shall not be revealed. Those who undergo, the name and address of the woman shall not be. And one more thing added in the medical termination of pregnancy, the 2020 Act, it has even said that there is a right for an unmarried woman okay, irrespective of the marital status, they have the right, okay, irrespective of the marital status. Anyway, so these are the provisions in India, but as I told you, our biggest problem is unsafe and abortions. According to World Population Report 2022, unsafe abortions are the third largest cause for maternal mortality rate in India. Okay. Unsafe abortions are the third largest cause for high maternal mortality rate in India. In fact, India's maternal mortality rate is more than 100 per 1 lakh live births. When 1 lakh births take place, 100 mothers die in India, more than 100, which is quite high. In a developed country, it may be less than 10, but here it is more than 100. One of the reasons for this high maternal mortality rate is unsafe abortions. Okay. So, as I told you, 67% of abortions are unsafe in India. Okay. So, according to World Population Report 2022, the third largest cause for maternal mortality rate, high maternal mortality rate in India, it is unsafe abortions. Anyway, that is part of it. So, can the US President veto laws passed in individual states? No. Okay, US President can veto a law passed by the federal parliament or not the local states law. Okay, because in US lot of autonomy is there for the states. Okay, that autonomy is much higher than what we enjoy in India. So, US President cannot do anything. If such a law is there, that law will continue in those states. But the only good thing in the US is the certain states are fully, always Democratic, Democrat majority. For example, New York, California, these kind of states, the Republicans will never win. So, these states, at least there are around 20 states in US where Democrats will always win. And there are another 22, 23 states where Republicans will always win. So, there will be enough space for both the parties for doing their politics. Okay. So, those who want abortion, there will be always some safe havens where they can conduct abortion within the US itself, and there will be others have always something to celebrate that ठीक है हम abortion ban कर दिया इधर उसके लिए भी जगह है. So there is enough space for both the sides to grow and celebrate. That is the beauty of US. But on the other side, the US problem is the society is too divided, and there is no answer to many of those questions, and there is no right or wrong in many of these things, because these are related to moral and ethical issues. So, the right of an unborn child versus the right of an already living person. Okay. So, you have to choose between the two. That is the issue right now. Okay. So, anyway, I will stop here.